welcome to the Center for Victory podcast of Your Best Day Yet. Here at Center for Victory, we're here to help unlock, reinforce, and enrich relationships through personal and professional development. My name is Zack. I'm an executive consultant here at the Center for Victory, and we have Eric Guy here, Chief Victory Officer. It's good to be back.
It is.
And we're talking this month about generosity and giving.
Yes.
And not so much just with your money, but with your time, with your resources, with your energy, and with your attention. All different areas of giving.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get started, I've never seen you in a flannel before.
Okay.
We're out here in the country.
You're right.
Are you going to cut some wood later, or what's going on?
Actually, I used to wear flannels all the time. It just is.
You look good. I mean, you look good.
Yeah. Well, I know I look good.
Yeah.
But I had mentioned it, but growing up, the flannel thing kind of faded away. That was big in probably around the time you were born in the 90s. I mean, that's all I had was flannel and denim, and we didn't cut the sleeves out. But yeah, I mentioned it, and last year my daughter got me as her secret, as her secret Santa. And so when we exchanged gifts, she gave me this, and this in itself, just the fact that she was listening, to something that I wanted, was nice. But what was in it was even better. I mean, it's so special, a wonderful gift, and that's why I kind of wanted to talk about it today and wear this shirt, is because it was extremely meaningful. And here's a college student that doesn't have much. My daughter, giving me one of the greatest gifts and that's not the shirt. It's actually this little book here. So she took this little notebook here, right? And her and I have always been big about trading quotes back and forth or saying things to one another and things like that. So she put my nickname on there, and then, Dad, hey, look, this is a notebook of words you can look at when you need to, right? If you're feeling down, remember that you were made to shine and rise, okay? And it says, love, Faith, who's my daughter. But it just has things that she's created. It even has some, some things, some quotes that we've shared with each other, right? And one of my favorite, absolute favorites in here is this one here. And it says, "You are gold, Sally Gold." And I love that. And when I turn to that, so I travel with this. And, kind of when I'm feeling down away from home, I'll just pull it out of my backpack and just go through it. And, I've added to it. And, can't wait to share that with her. But, it's just a nice little notebook with all these things in it. But it was so special. And, what's this? Probably about 25 cents, 50 cents.
What that is your daughter's notebook for college, that education fund that she should have been studying. She was taking notes on there.
Right, but it was such a special gift, and it always will be. And I think people get hung up on, I have to give all this money or give all this time, or, I don't, some, people just don't have it, right? If I think back to when, 23, 24 years ago, when my wife and I first got married, things were slim, and we had to be creative with what we gave each other. But they say that it's the thought that counts. It's the nice thought that counts. I mean, it's just not, hey, a dumb thought. You have to have a nice thought about it. And I know she put some time and effort into this, and it's just one of those things that I really carried around every time I put this flannel on. I'm like, okay, there it goes right there. But I do carry it everywhere I go with me. But it's just such a great gift. So enough about me. What about you? What's some of the most memorable gift that you've ever received
And it was from a young man that I mentor. He was 8 at the time. He's now 9. It was earlier this year. I was telling him about some things that I had coming up that I was nervous about. I was kind of scared about. And, we all have our things that, we have to overcome, stuff out of our comfort zone. And we were at breakfast this one day, and he starts telling me about how he was at school earlier in the year. And all these kids were saying, hey, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of that. And what he said to those kids, he then said it to me, which, I mean, I'll never forget this.
Uh-huh.
And he said this, he looked me in the eyes and he said, Zach, whenever you're afraid to do something, just get up and do it. And I think that's the biggest thing for me. It's just like I talk myself out of things because I don't want to look bad. Maybe it's not my expertise or it's just out of my comfort zone. But just hearing that from an 8-year-old kid who had 7 brain tumors, he recently just had surgery again, is without a father, and for him to say with such confidence, with such wisdom for an 8-year-old, just get up and do it. No matter what your feelings, no matter your emotions, get up and do it and quit focusing on yourself and focusing on the other people that you're going to be impacting. But an 8-year-old, like,
with all that going on for him too.
Yeah.
It just,
Yeah.
It would have been better if he just smacked you.
Yeah, that's shut up and go do it, right? But that's honestly the greatest gift that I've ever received. I don't need another shirt. I don't need another car. I don't need another pair of shoes. Like, man, like the words that came out of that young man's mouth has probably been one of the most impactful things that ever happened to me.
Yeah. What can you? Is there any other ways that you creatively have seen people give, or that you've given? I know I have a couple of examples in my head. But are there some examples that you?
Yeah, I think for me, especially when it comes to the clients that we work with, I'm really intentional with writing handwritten letters. I think that's an art that needs to be rediscovered, where we're just emails and text messages, and there's not really that, okay, this person actually sat down, thought about what they were going to say, went to the mailbox or went to the post office and delivered it. And that's one of my biggest things, is not just to our clients, but to people that I love the most, is just writing them a handwritten letter to say, hey, Eric, you have that one up there right now. And thanks for being an incredible boss. I just wanted to take time out of my day to say, you've impacted me more than you realize. And I think that's a great way to just show your appreciation and your gratitude for people. So how about you? What are some other creative ways that you...
Calling somebody to say hi again without the text or the email, just picking up the phone, to hear their voice, stopping by to see them. Sometimes we just drive past people's houses all the time and just don't stop. It could be a card, just a handwritten thing. One of the things that is always crazy, and this started at a coffee shop locally here one time, and I just like it now because I don't know if I just like a little bit of the chaos that goes with it. Maybe an issue, but I like the ripple effect that it causes when it really starts to go, and and what it is it's either paying for somebody's meal or coffee, right? That's behind you. Just pay it forward kind of a deal. But it happened one time. This has been probably 3 or 4 months ago, and it got started at 8 o'clock in the morning, right? And then people, I would just watch. People just kept paying it forward. I went out, got another coffee. It was still going on. I left about 10 o'clock, and I will tell you, people were still paying for other people's coffee. They had the total up. It was a ridiculous total. And the ladies behind the counter were just laughing. But it was just started with that one thing. But what happened was, and usually that coffee shop's pretty happy. If you want to call happy people. But it just it ignited happiness. People just wanted to do it just for the heck of it. I felt like after a while, I was like, let's just do it some more. But it was just a real creative way to give. And I've seen people hand out gas cards to somebody at the gas or pay for their gas at the pump. That's really nice, especially when you don't have anything, or this time of year taking a maybe a college kid out to eat when they don't have anything, and just spending time with somebody, just as this 8-year-old did with you, just imparting some wisdom.
And I think to your point, you just brought it up. It's time. I think the greatest gift you can give somebody is your time. You think about it now, society is running around with their heads cut off. busier than ever before and getting nothing done. Like busyness to society equals success. And I would challenge that. I think the greatest gift you could ever give somebody is your time.
Yeah.
Especially to the next generation and to those younger than you, is to take them out. Like that's always been my thing. Like when somebody, a CEO or a business owner or somebody that I aspire to be like, I ask them to coffee, a half hour of their time, and they say, hey, I don't have any time for you, kid. Like that's like a burden in my heart now whenever somebody underneath me would ever reach out to me. I don't care if it's 20 minutes, a half hour. I want to be so intentional because that person was intentional with reaching out to me. I think time is such one of the greatest gifts you can give
Well,
people.
it's one of the resources that you can't recreate.
Yeah.
Like if you give money, you can go back and you can recreate money.
Yeah.
If you give resources, you can go back and create resources. One of the things that you can't recreate
It's time.
is time.
Wow.
And that's why it's so important.
That's
So I
good.
agree.
That's really good. So as we finish up, give us some big picture bullet points of the takeaways from today.
One, I think it's easy, just start. I mean, it could be something as simple as this. I mean, this means more to me than anything I've ever gotten. I mean, and my kids have been real, intentional about that. It's been the little gifts that I've kept. I have one section in my house, just a little section of stuff that they've given me that means a whole lot to me. Sometimes the smallest gifts are the best presents.
That's
I would
good.
say.
Yeah.
And if you're unsure of where you should give, or if you should, push yourself to do it. I mean, just like the kid that you mentor, just dummy, just go out and do it, right? Just,
Wow, I never thought of that.
Or should I give? Yeah. Or should I? But we do that all the time, right? We figure, should I give there? Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it. Nike, just do it.
Yeah.
So I want to leave you guys with this quote by Eleanor Roosevelt. She said this: since you get more joy out of giving joy to others, you should put a good deal of thought into the happiness that you are able to give. So thank you guys so much for staying tuned to the Center for Victory podcast of Your Best Day Yet. Leave a comment in the comment section below of things that really stood out to you. Also hit that bell button, that notification button, so you get updates on when we update. Also hit that subscribe button, and you can also find us at centerforvictory.com. We always leave you guys with this. It's this quote:
Wherever you're at,
whatever you're doing, make this your best day yet.